1. But when Reuben heard it, he delivered him out of their hands, saying, let us not take his life. Joseph ameshow up to his brethren, sijui kama walikuwa wanachunga ama walikuwa wanafanya nini, amewaletea chakula. Umeona ile ulikuwa unatumwa pelekea ndugu zako chakula. And then Reuben ameintervene because his brothers wanted to kill him, because he has been the most beloved by his father Jacob. So the guy intervened and said, he delivered him from their hands, saying, let us not take his life. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood, cast him into a pit. Mark the first P, a pit. Let's put him in a pit. What happened after that one? Let's put them in a pit. Let me go to verse 9. So when Joseph came to his brother, they stripped out of his robe and long robe, the long robe with sleeves that he wore, and they took him and cast him into a pit. The pit was empty. There was no water. The first pit, wakamthrow in a pit. Wakachukua ile nguo alikuwa nayo, wanasema it was sleeved. Hiyo nguo wakaruarua, wakachinja mnyama, wakaipaka damu, ndio they showed his father, akamwambia kijana wako alikuli. Let me go to Genesis 39 from verse 11. But one day, when he went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was there in the house, she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. But he left his garment in her hands and fled and got out of the house. And when she saw that he had left his garment in her hands and had fled out of the house, she called to the men of her household and said to them, see, he has brought among us a Hebrew to insult us. He came in to me to lie with me and cried out with a loud voice. This is the wife of the king. She was called Potiphar. Mark the second P after pit. This guy, when he was taken by the Ishmaelites, that was to the slavery in Egypt, he was taken to the house of king. There, he stayed with the wife. They lived together with the wife of king. She was called Potiphar. And now, you remember the temptation of Potiphar to lie with the guy. Is it true? And the guy left the guy. Remember, the first garment, when he was thrown in the pit, he never get into the pit with it. They took the garment and take it to his father. And lied to his father, to their father, that your son amekuliwa na mnyama. Joseph never carried the first garment to the slavery land. Now in Potiphar's house, under temptation. After pit is Potiphar's house. In Potiphar's house, temptation hand to hand. Here, he lived the second. Let me go to the second verse. You connect. Chapter 39, verse 19. When his masters heard the words of his wife spoken to him, this is the way your servant treated me, his angers kindled. And Joseph's masters took him and put him into prison. That P. He was taken to prison. Do you think in prison, and he left the garment, he's going to there with a suit? Akavaa madoado? The second garment, the third garment, in prison now. After the pit, Potiphar's house, now in prison. And every glory with a new coverage. Every glory with a new coverage. You know, most of you think that because you're in this area that you are in uniform and things, you think that when you finish school is over with the uniform. Work hard. you get to the levels of managers, you leave the other garment. Are you connecting? Now, in prison, let's go to the fourth P. Is it? I want to show you this morning that your journey of life and Christianity, it is accompanied by different mysteries. There are mysteries that follow you, even you yourself. Can you imagine your brothers, your own, the ones that you come from the same womb, trying and attempting to kill you? And you have just show up with a bucket of food. And they are saying, now, here comes the dreamer. Let us kill him. Only took intervention of Reuben to safeguard the man. There are times even the people who are around you. And let me tell you, the first level to know whether you are moving to the next grace is the level of your attack. Kama wanasemaga ndio yule tu mtu mzuri sana hapa, hagombanagi na mtu yote, wewe ligi yako tu bado ni chini. Uko tu chini bado. Kama hujagombana na watu, then you have no capacity. What are we arguing with? Tutapiga nini? Unajua Wakikuyu wanasemaga mututale matunda ikageria mahigane. In another, that is a language yenye uweze, lakini inasema mti yenye haina matunda hizi rushiwa mawe na vijana, utapiga nini? Nini unagonga ianguke ukule? So the level of your attack is the equivalent, proportional to the level of your grace, of your achievement. So kuna vita unapigaga unasema yes, niko poa. Kuna level of attack. Let me tell you, before people sit down and think to topic you and headlines on you, you must be a very important person. Everybody here in the city is trying to make money. Unless you are news anchor. Otherwise, when you sit down and topic me, that means I found your head can accommodate my, hey. And if your head can accommodate the topic that you can discuss about me, I'm very important to you. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Let's move to the last P. When Pharaoh, let me lead, I want to finish. So I'll lead chapter 41, Genesis, verse number 43. And he made him a ride into his second chariot, and they carried before him bow the Nile. Thus he set him over all over the land of Egypt. Moreover, Pharaoh said to Joseph, I'm Pharaoh, and without your consent, no man shall lift up hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. There is a verse. It is here, 41. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, behold, I have set over the land of Egypt. And the Pharaoh took his assigned ring on the hand and put it on Joseph, and arrayed him a garment of linen, and put gold chain all about his neck. This is a loyalty garment. When now he's appointed and assigned for governance in Egypt, he's worn a new garment. Are you getting me? He's worn a new garment, because I want to confirm to you, in every level you go, God give you the coverage and the grace to work on that department. Whether it's the level of life. Biblia inasemaga hawezi tujaribu na majaribio yenye inatuzidi kiwango. He can never do that. And therefore, every battle you face, most of you think that God has left us. If it were you and you have been sold to Egypt, maybe you would have cursed God. Ungesema sasa huyu msee ananifanyia nini? This was the only way to make this guy a governor, to glorify himself. Later he saved his family from the very far, a dry land, and he comforted them in Egypt. kuna mahali walikuwa wanaita sijui ni Goshen. Is it Goshen? He called the family and they were given the best of the land in Egypt, Goshen, to settle. I remember the tears of Joseph after he saw the family. Sinakumbuka kwa ile story ya akiweka sijui ni kikombe ya unga na pesa kwa unga, wakaenda wakaona and then later wakakuja. Do you remember the guy crying? Because they walimuuza akiwa mdogo but hata hawakuwa wanamjua. But when the guy shows up, he cried. Because I want to believe there are good angels in some people and there are bad angels in some people. Why? How does the guy cry to see the people who attempted to kill him and even they sold him as a slave? How does the guy cry on their love? That must be a good angels on that man. You cannot be happy about somebody who wanted to kill you. But this should be a different case. You should not be happy crying. Unajua angekuwa analia akifikiria, what will I do for you? Should I revenge? Because he had the capacity even to revenge. But the guy is crying because of the love, because of seeing how they submitted him to success. Let me tell you, and I'm saying this one without a fear of contradiction. Most of you, God will chase you out of here because you are so reluctant. Mungu atafanya tu kitu ufutwe. And then you go hating that person, calling him devil. Acha tuone penye atafika. Maybe God wanted to open your eyes. There outside is a big nini. Na kama vile inasemekanaga, as I conclude, kuna baraka za ukiingia na ukitoka. It is the book of Leviticus